Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the principles of behavior. So there's three principles of behavior: reinforcement, punishment, and extinction. And then another important fact to know about behavior: if a behavior is occurring, it's serving a function. It's not, a behavior is not in someone's repertoire or any living thing's repertoire if it's not being reinforced. So there's reinforcement, punishment, extinction, and all behavior serves a function. So whether it's behavior that you want to be seeing or behavior you don't want to be seeing, if it's happening, it's serving a function. And we'll get into the functions of behavior later on in our training. But for now, the principles of behavior, just to get us really rolling. This is the meat and potatoes. And again, this is where some things, as we're first learning it, you're going to get a little confused. But as you use it and apply it and label things, I always say we're learning a foreign language. So as you learn these skills and have the tools in front of you when you go to work or when you're in the grocery store or when you're, in your own life in any way, label what you're seeing based on what you learn through this course. And speak in the new language, whether it's in your head or you kind of play it out. It's a good way to get fluent. So reinforcement, punishment, extinction. So we're going to talk reinforcement right now. And I'm going to always look at, the first definition of reinforcement from the Cooper book. That's our Bible in applied behavior analysis. Reinforcement occurs when a stimulus change immediately follows a response and increases the future frequency of that type of behavior in similar conditions. And also remember, now we're talking all operant behavior, which is the three-term contingency: antecedent, behavior, consequence. So when we're talking reinforcement, it's in the consequence part of the three-term contingency. So it's about reinforcing behaviors to occur, and when it's in the similar situation, the next time it's the same kind of setting, that behavior will probably occur again if it's being reinforced. Now, when we think reinforcement, so we're going to nice and simple. Rewards versus reinforcers. Rewards are something that we think is going to be reinforcing, and a reinforcer is something that actually does increase the behavior we're looking to increase. Because we can like things and enjoy them and them not be reinforcing for certain behaviors. And one of the examples of that I say is like giving a child a cookie for cleaning their room might not be reinforcement. Cleaning their room as a behavior all put together is a pretty big effortful behavior task. So simply getting a cookie might not be reinforcing enough that next time it's time to clean your room, and someone knows, I'll probably get a cookie when I'm done. Not enough. I'm not going to do it. I like cookies and I'll enjoy the cookie, but to clean my room for a cookie, I'm all set. So a reward is something that we think will be a reinforcer, and it may or may not be. And there's a lot of different factors of why, and we'll look at that a little bit more as we go through this. So in thinking of it, it's about value of the reinforcer and liking the reinforcer and how valuable it is. It's also about, if you're thinking about it, I kind of gave the example about, the effortful task of cleaning your room. It's a big behavior, a lot of effort is needed to do that. If the task is smaller, so say maybe it's just, hey, can you bring the trash out, and you can have, a chocolate chip cookie when you come in, might be, sure, I'll run the trash out and then have a cookie. And each time, it's going to increase your taking, because that behavior is a lot less effortful than cleaning your whole room. So the effort or the complexity or the demand of the behavior will factor into whether something's reinforcing or not. Then it's also like, again, so an example of that, like getting paid in work or getting paid in chocolate to go to work. You probably wouldn't want to get a paycheck in chocolate. It wouldn't be, it wouldn't increase going to work behavior. Love chocolate, but it's not going to be reinforcing for going to work. And then, the other thing about reinforcers is, how valuable the reinforcer is. Say we'll go back to the example of, taking the trash out to get a cookie. If, and trash needs to go out, say, once a week. If you're allowed cookies or you get cookies every day, or pretty much on demand or whenever you want it, then actually, even though it worked in the beginning, as a reinforcer for taking out the trash, it might stop working because I get cookies, or so you get satiated on the reinforcer. So if you have access to something pretty openly or a lot, a reinforcer might become, a person might become satiated on a reinforcer. So again, it's not that they stop liking cookies, but they've had a lot of them, so it's not really reinforcing to elicit, to get a behavior to occur. So these are all things that we need to consider when we're looking at applying this as we go forward, when we look at applying it in our craft, working with students and staff. Okay, then also, as we talk about reinforcement, and this is when I say we got to put our science hat on and think about this in a very scientific way. There's going to be two types of reinforcement: positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. And again, this is just the intro. We're going to work with this a lot, so you'll get good at seeing what they are and how to label them and how to use them effectively. So positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. And don't think of positive as like good and negative as bad. And this, with this, what we want to do is we look at positive as positive is the addition of something, and negative is the removal of something. So because it's about the addition and then the removal. So positive reinforcement is adding something in the 3-term contingency. So there's an antecedent. Mom asks to take the child to take the trash out is the antecedent. The behavior is the trash is taken out. And then the reinforcement or the consequence is giving them a cookie, the addition of. That's positive reinforcement. So when we're talking about reinforcement and talking the addition of, it's something that is pleasurable or something that someone values or something that someone wants. So that's what positive reinforcement is. And then there's also negative reinforcement. And what is negative reinforcement? Negative reinforcement is the removal. And in the reinforcement contingency, it would be the removal of something aversive, something you didn't like. So examples of negative reinforcement are, you get into the car and you turn on the car, and then a beep starts to go saying, put your seatbelt on, kind of this annoying beep or sounds. And then you put on your seatbelts, and as soon as you click your seatbelts, the beeping goes away. The next time I get in the car and turn it on and hear the beep, I'm likely to continue to do the seatbelting behavior. So I am negatively reinforced to buckle my belt. I'm not getting a cookie for buckling my belt. What's happening in that contingency and the consequences, as soon as the belt is buckled, the annoying or aversive alarm goes away. So that would be a negative punishment contingency. That's a nice example. Another one, a constant one, or not constant, a pretty common one we'll see is, your child needs to clean the room. You're like, come on, Johnny, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room. Johnny cleans their room, not to get something, not to get money, or, it's not to get a cookie, but to get mom to stop nagging, to get cease the nagging. They're talking of clean your room, clean your room, clean your room, get that to go away. So that would be a negative reinforcement contingency. If the next time it's time to clean the room and they don't want to hear mom go, come on, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, they're negatively reinforced to clean their room. So that's negative reinforcement. And don't think of negative. Negative is not a synonym for punishment. We're not talking punishment at all. There's positive and negative reinforcement. So it's the addition of. So if something pleasurable after a behavior is added to the situation, that's positive reinforcement. And then if there's an antecedent, a behavior occurs, and then something kind of aversive or bad goes away to increase that behavior happening in the future, that's negative reinforcement. It's the removal of something aversive. That's the difference between the two. But the same thing, the commonality is it's about increasing the behavior in the future in similar situations. So as long as the behavior is increasing,